Hey, this is DJ Straight. Welcome to another edition of Praise from the Closet. We are live today with another segment of My Siblings and Me. And also, as usual, if you're watching from Facebook, you can hit share from my page, WGMLB Internet Radio, or either the Marshall Lynette Booker page. And you could also be on YouTube and hit stream and hit subscribe. It is a cold day outside from what I'm told. And don't forget, always go to our website, WGMLB.com, and hear great inspirational music 365, 24/7. Now, we've got a family on today that I know a little bit about, but I'm pretty sure that I'm going to learn some more things on today. One of the siblings was so sweet and tried to come on, just had surgery. So we're going to postpone. We're going to come back again with all of the siblings. Today we have 4, and we may have another one because he gets off of work at 6, so he may try to get on. But listen, you guys are in for a treat. You're going to laugh, you're going to learn a lot, and then you're going to appreciate the genuineness that they have for one another. So I am going to, let's see. Oh yeah, we want siblings. All you need is one other sibling to make 2. And then if you have more than 2, you are welcome to come on. But email us at Gospel Music Lovers Buffet if you guys want to come on. And then you have our phone number at 202-322-2470. I see a couple of empty chairs, so I'm going to wait for them to get back in their seats. And then I will bring them on. And I am texting and sharing as I'm doing that. Well, anyway, again, welcome to Praise from the Closet, My Siblings and Me. You know how important it is to have family. A lot of people don't even have family. So this is one of the reasons why I like doing this show, because it shows the family. It just shows people having fun. And again, we are just thankful for the station and all that we try to do. If you missed any of our shows, go on our YouTube channel, DJ Straight. Yesterday, we had the Metropolitan Police Department women on. That show was very, very good. And tomorrow, we have coming on 1 Hour Loud with Robert Howard. And then on Tuesday, I believe at 8 o'clock, we have Arista Mormon coming on. She told me that she had a story, and her flyer will be out later on tonight and tomorrow. So she'll be doing her conversations with one-on-one. And this has been great. So I'm going to bring the family on. And as they come on, I'm waiting for the host to come on. And then that way they will take charge. So let me just go ahead and bring them on. Welcome, welcome, family. How are you all?
We're doing well, thank you.
Good. It's a beautiful. Now, good. Now, tell me the difference, the places or states where you all are calling from.
I'm in Richmond, Virginia.
Okay.
Kenbridge, Georgia now, and LA.
Yeah, 3 of us
here
right now.
Okay. So everybody likes Virginia. Okay. It looks like my host is ready. One thing I like about this show is you never know who's going to host. You know, the host doesn't know the family, or the family may not know the host. It just all depends. So I'm grateful, and that's part of having this show is you never know what questions are going to be asked, because I have no jurisdiction over doing anything. I just want people to have a great time. So I'm going to go out and I'm going to sit back and watch. And I will be bringing in the host right now.
Who is the host? Aline.
Hello.
Oh, Jenny B.
Hi there.
I couldn't think of a better host than myself. So full disclaimer, huh?
I can't either.
Hey, Aunt Gertrude, Aunt Miss Mormon, Aunt Joyce, and Uncle Jarvis. So
Miss Jarvis will be fine. Don't make me sound like no
everybody,
old man.
all right now, where's the old man at?
He not here.
Now he is not there. I ain't seen him yet.
No, he gone. he been on vacation.
That's good. He need to stay. He need to stay. So it is my privilege. Y'all can stay off of mute. We just gonna share a conversation. And Pop this off his tablet. He's gonna try to get on. We're gonna miss Glennis. If we're gonna do another show. Go ahead. Hi, Ethan.
Hi, Ethan.
So we're gonna jump right into these questions. And on the show, who is the oldest on the show tonight? Who's the oldest
I'm
sibling?
Gertrude. I'm the oldest.
All right, then, Aunt Gertrude, since you're the oldest, how many siblings do you have?
How many siblings?
Well, she's just the oldest of the ones that are on right now. She's not the oldest, period.
Right. So she's the oldest. I want her to tell me how many siblings were there.
Oh, it was 5 boys and 4 girls.
And where did you fall in line? And where did you fall in line? 5 girls and 5 boys?
Yes.
What was your number in that rank?
I was the 3rd girl.
Okay.
And the 5th child.
Okay. And then who's the next oldest on here?
That would be me.
That would be Joyce Booker Harmon. Okay. And what number are you?
Okay, so that would make me number 8 in the whole family. So that means I'm number 8, and I'm the 5th girl. No, 4th girl.
Oh, hold on, time out for a second. Excuse me. Ethan, we're not gonna be able to hear them if he doesn't be quiet or stop walking in.
Oh, the baby.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Rather hard to do.
Time up.
So, okay, you said you're the 8th child?
Right.
You're number 8 going down. Okay, and who's next?
That ball head man up in the corner.
Okay, Uncle Jarvis, what number child are you?
I'm number 9.
Number 9. Okay, and Miss Mormon, what number would you be?
Last of the boo.
I'm number 10.
You got to be the sweetest one at number 10. Are you the sweetest one since you number 10?
Hey, I think so. I think so.
Don't start
I think so.
I think so.
You think, oh, okay, see? Okay, that was nice. I think you are.
Natural Joyce would think so.
Why you say that?
She just don't like disputes,
Oh, so she agree with whatever you guys say?
Or whatever.
No, I agree because it's true.
I don't agree with them.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Well, who you think the sweetest child is?
I think it's me.
Oh, okay.
That's questionable.
Because my mother always said I reminded her of her mother.
No, what she always said was, "It's a mighty poor frog that doesn't praise his own pond."
She always said I was reminding her of her mother, and therefore I was the sweetest.
Is that what you said?
Added the last part. The first part is true, but she added the last part.
So, Miss Mormon, can you name the siblings in order for me, please?
Surely. Nathaniel, Daniel, Lewis, Glennis, Hasseltine, Gertrude, Wilford, Julius, Joyce, Jarvis, and myself.
Okay, so 5 girls and 5 boys.
Yep.
Right?
Yes,
so,
yes.
Uncle Jarvis,
yep.
Who favored mother and who favored daddy?
Who favors daddy more so. I think him and House Team.
Okay.
I mean, they always told me I look like Linwood Booker, so
Okay.
Due to the fact that I was adopted in, I understand.
And who was Linwood?
Actually, Pa, you look exactly like Uncle Miller looked.
Uh-oh.
That was Daddy's
Who was Linwood Booker?
That was
grandpa.
a grandfather.
Okay,
Daddy's,
so you go ahead.
it was Daddy's father, Linwood Booker.
Okay. So you all did know your grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Did you know all your grandparents on both sides?
No, we didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
No.
Well,
Only one I
actually,
knew
okay, go ahead, Pa.
I'm saying the only one I knew was Murray Booker and Granddaddy.
Okay.
Well,
Mother's
see, what
fault.
happened was Mother's mother died before any of us here right now were born. Grandpa died the same month I was born, or so he knew me. He met me, but I don't remember him because I was a baby.
I remember him.
Yeah.
I'm actually I have part of his name. When I was born, Grandpa wanted to name me Linwood, which I wished I had. And so that's how I ended up with the name Lynette to please him. But he didn't care that I was a girl. He wanted me named after him. And I remember the day he got hit by a car in Richmond. I was up there in the sand pile, and he was going out to catch the bus. And he picked me up and talked to me. I don't know what he said. I don't remember all that. But I can remember him coming from the house, walking up the road. And I was in the sand pile early in the morning because the road used to have very pretty sand in it. And that then you could walk away from your house. Nobody bothered children then. And I wasn't even in sight of my house, you know. Mm-hmm. And he picked me up and he talked to me and he went up to the highway to catch the bus and he never came back.
How old are you, Gertie?
I'll be 80 years old September the 19th if I live to see it right now. I'm
so 79. You were 3. So you were 3 years old. That's all I was establishing.
I was a small town.
Yeah, you were 3.
So I didn't ask where you all born. Where were you all born for the viewers?
I was born in West Virginia.
Okay. I was born in Kenbridge.
I was born in Kenbridge.
And I was born in Richmond.
Oh, really?
She's the only one that was born in the hospital.
Yeah.
Well, you see what happened is my mother had 9 children. We were called crop babies.
What do you call it?
What you was called what?
Oh, here we go.
Crop.
Crop. You mean women? You say crop.
Oh no! I don't believe
crop
that.
Babies.
I don't believe that.
Did you say crop babies?
C-R-O. Yeah,
I don't believe that.
People had big families.
What's a crop baby?
People had them because they needed children to work on a farm to help them out.
Oh, but I don't think that was the reason.
And Arlene came along, and mother probably didn't want any more kids, and so she had her tubes tied when Arlene was born. That's why she went in the hospital. Women then didn't just go and do that kind of stuff without a husband's permission. And so I don't think Daddy would have given his permission just for her to go and do it. But since she was there anyway.
How in the world you know this? How you know that?
Tell she would have her.
Hey, you didn't answer my question. How did you know that?
We can play Arlene our too, baby.
You do not mean.
So where were your parents?
I'm still here.
What you say, Miss Mormon? What you say, Miss Mormon?
I'm still here.
I'm still here.
I'm still here.
So where were your parents born? Where were your parents? Where was our mother? Where was Daddy born?
Right there in Lunenburg County in Kenbridge.
Okay.
Tankertown. It was called Tankertown then.
What was it called?
Kenbridge is called
Tanky.
Tanky.
Tankley.
Tinkling. Kenbridge didn't officially start until 1909, I think.
Really?
Same year he was born, yeah.
First time.
Wow. And what year was Daddy born? What year was your dad born?
He was born 1909.
Okay. And where was your mother born? My grandmother.
They're in Lunenburg County.
And what year was mother born?
1915.
And you said it was
60.
10 children. So
Yeah,
did any
for
of
her
y'all have
family.
10? Any of y'all have 10 children?
No. No.
Well, none of us farm either.
Well, we didn't have them. We didn't have them, but we got nieces and nephews that can still have them.
Yeah.
We
I heard that. Let's see now. I'm trying to count up because Ned has officially 3 children. Louis has what, 5? Lennis had 5. Hasseltine 4.
mm-hmm.
Gertrude
1.
1 born, and then she had others. So officially, give her 5. Is that right?
No, I had no
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
With the girls and
I'm at 22. Go ahead. I'm at 22. Go ahead.
Okay, and then let's see.
How you count the girls?
Wilford 3. Julius 2.
Robert had 4. You know, he said that one down there, when he lived in Washington, the projects. He claimed that little boy was his down there. The girl had in the projects.
I don't know about that.
Wait, hold up. We got a baby up in the projects we don't know about.
I don't know about him either. So strike that. So anyway,
I'm telling you too.
Yeah, you probably are, but I just don't know about him. 0 for me, 2 for Pie. 2 for Pie, 1 for Eileen.
Okay, that's 32 according to my calculations.
Yeah, did I skip anybody?
You know, that's exactly why I'm going to be cremated and not buried, and I don't want a program because you all give me kids that I don't want.
Okay, no problem. So anyway, we'll cremate you.
So the next question I have is, who was the tallest girl?
Halstein.
And who's the next tallest girl?
Goodness.
I think I'm pretty tall. You know, Cousin Al said she thought I was going to be taller, but I stopped growing. But I think I'm taller than Glennis, to be honest.
Oh, okay. Bringing up Cousin Anna. Who was Cousin Anna?
Oh, she was grandmother's first cousin.
Yeah.
And how old was Cousin Anna? I think she the longest living one in the family.
She and Granddaddy were the longest livers. She lived to be 101 or 2, and Granddaddy lived to 97, I think.
Okay, longevity.
Yeah, well, they were the only 2 that I knew of who lived that long.
Okay,
but she was Mary Booker's first cousin. They were 2 children.
Cousin Anna was Mary Booker's first cousin.
She was a Matthews, and grandmother was a Matthews.
Okay, right. Okay, Miss Mormon, what's your favorite? What month were you born, Miss Mormon?
January.
What's your favorite color?
January.
Your favorite?
What's
yellow?
Your favorite color?
Her favorite color is yellow.
Yeah, my favorite color is yellow.
Okay. And what is your occupation? What did you retire from?
Excuse me.
Oh, I retired from Metro as a station manager.
Did you enjoy that career?
I did, but I'm glad it's over.
Right. Okay, Uncle Jarvis, what is your birthday month?
December. I was a Christmas baby, present for my mama.
You was a present. And what is your favorite color?
My favorite color, I don't know. Let's see, what is my favorite color? I guess I would probably have to go with blue.
Blue, okay.
Blue as the skies.
All right now. You like to do a little singing?
No. You know, I keep a song.
Now, if you feel like you want to give us a song, we'll stop and you go ahead and put it out.
I don't want to show them up, make them feel bad.
Aunt Gertrude, what month is your birthday?
Joyce would come after Pie.
Okay. Joyce, what month is your birthday?
September, the 1st.
And what's your favorite color?
2nd of September. My favorite color, I think blue is one of the colors I've always liked over the years.
Okay. And Aunt Gertrude, what about you?
Yes. My birthday is September the 19th, 1942. My favorite color would be royal blue,
Okay.
not just
All
any.
y'all like in blue. Okay. But all
Yes.
y'all in the blue family.
And I
I
also
don't know why
retired
they pick blue.
Metro as a station manager, and I
Okay.
drove the train before I became a station manager, and then the bus. And yes, I do miss my job because when I had my job, that means I was spring chicken and hopping around very well. So I think that's why I miss my job is because I'm not able to do the things I used to do, get around.
Okay.
But it
Okay.
catch me out, and my uniform fit me very well.
Well, you
All
couldn't
right.
get it
Now,
in now, no way. So don't worry about it.
okay. Miss Mormon, what would be one of your pet peeves? What's something that just gets next to you?
Oh my, what get next to me?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
I know one thing, Mormon.
Not a whole lot gets me.
I
What's
know
that?
one thing, Mormon. When you speak to
What's
people
that?
and you them to say good morning back to you, you always say, "How are you feeling?" And then you wait for them to answer. If they don't answer, you just wait. So I think it bothers you when people don't say something back.
Is that one of
Because
yours,
it's
Miss
so
Mormon?
easy to speak. Yeah, it's so easy to say good morning back, or how you doing, or something. Wag your
I
tail
hope
or do something.
it's easy for you.
I just noticed that, like, we go to McDonald's or somewhere, and you'll say, "How are you doing?" And if the clerk doesn't answer, you just keep waiting. Well, how are you doing until they say something. So I think it
Okay.
does bother you.
All right. Glennis just chimed in and she said cousin Anna lived to be 103 and
Okay,
granddaddy lived to be 94.
94. Okay, there you go. She's got it the facts in front of her. I don't. I'm going by my memory, which is not
Hey,
always.
Glennis. Uncle Jarvis, what's your pet peeve?
I really don't have one. I must get live. Had no problem with people at all, really. I'm trying to think. I think basically most of my problem always come with driving. I think the one thing that bothers me mostly is just when people just get in front of me and they just cut me off and then they poke along in front of me. That
Right.
really irks me. And then I guess I just start talking to them like I be talking to Brittany on the telephone or something. She'll say, "Don't get upset." I say, "I'm not mad. I'm just expressing myself
Right.
with these crazies that, since I mean do a lot of driving, people. But mostly, most stuff don't really bother me because I never let people get to me. I never wear my feelings on the outside. I never believe in that. Mother always mentioned that. And
Right.
I never will do that with people because if I'm having a bad day or you bother me, you'll never know it.
Right.
Because I'm
And
not going.
you drive trucks. You drive trucks. You a class.
I drive truck. I've done a lot of things, but driving truck is what I settled into because I like the job because once I do what I do, I don't have to be around people. I never liked inside jobs,
Right.
so I've always did outside jobs, bricklaying, different things like that. But truck driving is something I've stayed with for the years, especially after I got married, had to take care of the family. Uh,
Right.
didn't fortunate enough to get me a woman that, like take care of me. I could be one of them ones on the other side, on the other side, the family, the women on her side, the family, the women take care of the man. The boys don't have to work.
Excuse me, you work until you married.
Jarvis,
You always had mother and Aunt Lily take care of
leave him
you.
alone. You were always good at the upholstery, the refinishing part. I like that. So he's an expert furniture refinisher. I still have some things you did for me.
Aunt
Oh,
Lily
okay.
always considered
Everybody
him
paying me spoken.
And even when he was planning to get married, Aunt Lily said, Claudia, you think that boy is old enough to get married? And
You
I
ought to
said,
stop.
what y'all talking about?
Well, how old were you?
Boy,
I was 32 when I got married.
Okay.
oh no, boy. But Mother and Aunt Lily was used to passing him a little bread and a little money and stuff. So, he didn't have to really buckle down
You
and
don't
work.
know nothing about it. You need to stop lying. That's what you need to do.
So, and Miss Mormon, you got your class B too, don't you? You drive. Everybody in this family drives. What do you drive, Ms. Mormon, or you drove?
Oh, I drove. I started driving with Metro Bus. Then I went to the train, station manager, school bus. That's basically it.
Okay.
But I
Well,
enjoyed
they
it
really.
all. I'm just glad to be retired.
Right.
I hate to put down bus drivers. Bus drivers are just more or less. They just like a cab driver in the city. You know, they're not experienced like truck drivers. Now, truck drivers, we are really credited with being the safest on the road. And I hate to see a bus driver go down the highway. Them bus drivers, them charter buses, they need to be stopped half the time because they be speeding, foot in the gas, wide open down the road, passing everything in front of them.
Girl, I'm gonna let you answer that. Go ahead.
Well, I only thing I can say to that is them 18 wheelers and things out there, as long as they can drive, the man put them behind the wheel. But now we had training to be professionals, operators. We wasn't drivers, we were operators.
You're right. You're right.
Operators.
That's why they kept you on the street.
So, that's why the buses were the best.
So, Ms. Mormon, what's your favorite dish you love to cook and share with the family?
And don't say right, because stuff will choke me.
Right, you like that.
While she's thinking, while she's thinking, when we cooked that work at the bakery, I mean the outdoor, whatever it was. What was that? The farmer's market. She was the slap. What is that, Ali? Slap your mama girl? Because somebody said her cornbread would
make your mama good.
Yeah, would make you slap your mama. So cornbread was her specialty.
That don't mean it was good.
But her cornbread was like Halstein's red gravy, right?
And how was that?
That was supposed to. So she said that make her smack their mama.
So what did you say it was?
Regular customers came for cornbread every Saturday.
So that's your favorite. That's your favorite.
Only one making
cornbread. Fried chicken.
Glenda's saying cake. She said she do
cake.
About
the yarning, people. I don't mean to yarn. I'm not bored. It's just that somehow today is catching up with me from yesterday.
She told me she was bored.
I know you cook candy yams and that fried chicken too, Miss Mormon. Thank you for that. And that cake. Gertrude, what do you throw down on?
Everything.
Everything. Okay.
She was known for her chicken salad mostly.
Oh, chicken salad.
Please excuse me for just a second.
Well, John, what you throw down on? Because I know you fix a few things too.
Oh man, I'm good at deep frying them turkeys. You know, they love the deep fried turkey. Now I'm good at now making some sweets, and one of my favorite, my sweet is lemon chest pie. When I make my lemon chest pie, I make it with little chunks of lemon in the actual pie.
Okay.
And I specialize in that. Big
dogs.
For the dog.
You howling around there for some lemon pie.
I ain't no dogs. I got plenty of cats out back though.
Oh, you feed them too?
No, I don't feed them. They just hang around. They just be around. I got one cat that come by and have at least 2 litters of kittens every year. I saw a pretty one out there today, saw a yellow cat.
Mm-hmm.
And I had one time I had a tiger cat look just like a tiger. It was pretty, but you couldn't get near it. But that's what I tell you another thing. I cooked a pot of spaghetti one time for Nathaniel when he had all the children up at home. And what I do with that, I actually turn around and cook it. Then I turn around and get me some of those Italian sausages, and then I put them in and I minced them up. And he was saying I carried a big old pot up there for him because he was cooking. And I figured he could need some help. You know, I didn't want them to be eating that stuff. He was cooking every day, so I cooked something for him. You know. And he was saying they like to eat themselves to death up there with that stuff. I said, man, that's a joke.
I guess it's right on time. What was a favorite dish that Mother fixed for you all? What was a favorite dish of Mother's?
Everything Mother fixed.
I'll tell you what I saved the recipe for. I always loved the berry dumplings she made in the summertime. Yes. Blackberry dumplings. I love that. I loved her rice pudding without the raisins at that time because I didn't like raisins at that stage in my life. And my favorite meal to this day, because we had it on Sundays, was I love the roast. The roast beef was always a cheaper cut, but it was always beef, the beans. I'm sorry, string, not string beans. What do you call those? Navy pea beans.
Snap beans.
They were navy
Black
peas.
eyed peas. Black eyed peas.
No, I remember the navy best. I like the navy and the greens when she fixed the greens with them, and if sometimes potatoes, but yams. But mostly, I just remember the beans and the greens together made such a good combination. I love that stuff. And she made a good
woman.
Huh?
What you love? What did you love that mother cooked?
Oh,
Did you
those
have a
hot
favorite?
rolls for sure. My
Yeah, hot
favorite.
rolls.
I just love it. I loved her hot rolls, but mother, everything she cooked was good.
Yes.
and fruit
I just
cakes.
enjoyed her cooking.
Right. Anything she
Yeah,
put on the table was
cakes was
good.
very good.
I can vouch for that. I ate a
Good,
plenty good
except
meal.
for this.
Cook, ain't no question about
So
it.
did all of you all have to work in the field and pull, work in the field and do vegetables and all of that?
No,
Nah, not really.
no, that was mostly Nat and Lewis.
Okay.
Wilfred and Schuler's worked too. They went out. They worked other places.
They did very little
They
work.
did. Boys worked in the fields, except when it came to tobacco time. Everybody had to help with that, but the boys worked in the fields. We had to work more around the house, which was unfortunate in a way. But we got cheated on learning some of the things I need to know now.
Nat and Lewis were the two hard working boys out of the two.
I don't know about all that.
Right.
I did my share of pulling weeds.
Okay. So you all learn how to can and do canning, right?
No.
We've seen it done a lot. They can. I mean, we had to wash the jars. Mostly what the younger children did, since you had small hands, you wash the jars. Now, when you went out to the peach orchards, you picked the peaches, you eat some, you picked. And that was most of the place where we went. But most of the stuff like pears and stuff like that grew right on the farm. And that mother never canned any apples, Now, Dad to dry. He later years he would dry apples like in the barn. They would taste like tobacco, but he would dry them anyway.
Was it a good taste?
Huh?
Was it a good taste? Tasted like
yeah, you eat them up because see when you eat them, what happens is you eat dried apples and you drink some water and you feel you full because they swell up in your stomach.
I never ate no dried apples, Dad.
No, you wasn't down and you were gone. You were gone. You won't even there. Be quiet. I'm talking.
And he liked to experiment. He tried drying stuff. He made molasses. He did sell a lot of that.
Yeah, later on did molasses. We used to go to Mr. Reese years ago, across from us, and had when they raised the sugar cane carried over there, and that's where they had the mule walking around and you feed it through the rows, and then they put it in this long pan, and then they cook it. That Mr. Reese used to cook it for him when I go back and remember. Then he had another man, Mr. Spencer. We used to go to him, and you would have to sit there with that thing, sort of like where I'm sitting in this chair, but you would have to down much lower, and you take those stalks and feed them in. Every time the mule come around, you gotta duck your head, because if you didn't duck your head, you got hit upside the head like that when the mule came around, just kept him marching around. But yeah, they cooked molasses, and I love killing hog time. I love that.
Why is that?
Well, I loved it because, like I say, you see him when you shoot the hog, and then somebody jump and they cut his throat, and then they drag him out there and take him over there and put him in that pan. They made the wood pan actually that they put scald in, and you get the water scalding hot. And then you had these old jar tops that was made one solid top. And you take that jar top and you get to scraping that hair off that hog. Then you hang him up on that pole. And what Dad would take and do, they would hang him up on the pole and then you would gut him. And my Gloria's aunt, her and her mother, Charity, which was her grandmother, Nanny was her aunt's name. She never liked me to call her Nanny. That's why I used to call her sometime and tell her the way we kept house was like Nanny kept house, But it was just the idea that they come around there and they would come like 6 o'clock in the morning. If you kill hogs at 6 o'clock and you got the chitlins and everything out, they would clean them chitlins for you. And then they get on that wagon and they go somewhere else. And then mother would take the chitlins and they get them to the house. And then they would actually cut them and get the fat off like that. And then they would wash them in the bin.
All y'all ate chitlins? All y'all ate the chitlins?
No, I don't like chitlins.
I love them. We eat them now because I have blood pressure, but I love chitlins.
Yeah.
With some hot sauce and vinegar, please.
I don't.
Well, you know, one thing, but you got the fresh kill, like you had the fresh kill, like here, you know, you go to the store now and you turn around and try to find chime, and you get a chime, but they would actually turn around there and brains and eggs. Now I tell you, brains and eggs, I love brains and eggs myself.
Whose brains? Whose brains?
The hog brains.
Hog
brains. You cook them with eggs. And I tell you something else, mouse and oysters, when they used to get the male hogs ready for killing, they would have to castrate them, you know. And they would take them mountain oysters, and now that's some mother could cook them things up, and they be smelling some kind of good, you know.
Oh, y'all ate that too?
No. They
live too. They live too high on the hog.
So, Miss Morgan, what's one of your favorite childhood memories?
Yeah.
Home after service on Sunday and playing in the yard. We played Old Red Devil, Duck Goose. We played softball.
What's Old Red Devil?
You know?
What's Old Red Devil?
I like to know that myself.
Old Red Devil was a game. I'm trying to remember now how it went.
Yeah, one person
remember playing it.
Yeah, one person would be the devil, and he would chase the others, and you didn't want to get caught. In fact, one time, and I never liked heights, but one time, I don't know which game we were playing, and Wilford was the one doing the chasing, and I got so into it, I got scared. I climbed to the highest point I could climb in the barn, and when I realized where I was, then I had to get down. But I think it was Old Red Devil. One person would be it, like in Duck Goose, and he chased the other people, and you didn't want to get caught.
Old Red Devil. What's some of the other ones you saying, Miss Mormon? What's some of the other games? Duck Goose. Y'all play kickball and baseball?
Duck Goose.
Oh, baseball was a thing.
We played baseball.
Played with us.
Who played with you?
Mother and Daddy.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, and the thing about it, I didn't realize until I got grown that every time Mother got up to bat, Daddy would always pitch. Well, children wasn't like they are now when they can the children now deliver the babies for you. But then I didn't realize that Mother was pregnant. The reason, because I look at all the little things came along after I did. And then Daddy would always pitch for her. Wilford would always, I'm going to run, like somebody's going to argue with him to run the bases. But he always wanted to do the running for Mother. He didn't want nobody else to run. But Daddy always pitched for her. That's because she was pregnant. And I didn't realize that.
Right. Because you were just a kid having fun. Describe the home place, the first house that you all lived in. Describe that house, anybody. What was the house like? How was it built?
Actually,
well, the first house I lived in was the one that you came to when you was around. I don't know anything about that other one back then in the woods.
No, that was back there earlier when Nat and Lewis were small. They lived in that house. That little first house down there where they spread, and that's Ashes. Well, that's the first house where Nat and Lewis was mostly in that house, I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nat was born there. Yeah.
Yeah, the one we grew up in was built in 1945, the year before I was born. Now, I never thought of it as a new house, but actually I was living in a new house because they had just moved back. Granddaddy, Horace Bagley, built that house.
Okay.
I still have a couple of letters that he wrote to Daddy talking about how long it would take and where they were going to pile the timber and all that sort of thing, the lumber.
So you all had lights and running water and inside bathrooms and everything?
Oh, no.
So what'd you have?
On the inside.
Say that again, Ms.
Light, and we
had electricity. We did have
lights.
Had lights.
We had wood stove. Yeah, we had electricity.
I couldn't remember. I thought it was the last.
We had an outdoor toilet.
Okay.
Yeah, and we had a pump for the water. We went to the
No,
school
you didn't. You
until
ain't had
we
no
got a
pump.
pump.
You had a spring. You ain't had no pump.
We had right.
Right. We didn't get the pump until
Yeah.
Bertie was little.
Right.
Until
So you
We
had
had
to
to
go down to the spring, the
go
river,
down
and the
to
water.
the spring and get the water.
yeah, the pump came later.
So
Yeah.
you all had to carry buckets of water. Everybody had to carry the buckets.
Well, everybody sooner or later did go down there. Sometimes you come back
Yep.
with a half a bucket. You turn around and go back down there and get the other bucket. And then you had another half, so you had a full bucket.
Well, how
By
far
time-
was it from the house? How far was the water from the house?
About a half a mile,
Okay.
or about 3/4 of a mile, I would think.
What kind of refrigerator did you have? That ice box, what do you call it?
We had a
No, we had-
refrigerator.
No, you didn't.
Yes, we didn't have a refrigerator.
No, you didn't. You got that. You got your first refrigerator. Mother used to can chickens and everything. I can remember when we got our first refrigerator. Mother paid on it. I had on a black skirt and a red shirt, and grandmother had gone to West Virginia, and mother stood me at that refrigerator and said to take that, and they took a picture. She took a picture of me to send Mary Booker. That's exactly what she said. Just to go send that picture to Mary Booker so she could go ahead and die because she wasn't waiting on her refrigerator. Grandmother didn't want to die because she thought mother was waiting on her refrigerator. And mother had put a refrigerator in layaway. And mother took the picture of me standing at the refrigerator and said, let me send this to Mary Booker so she can go ahead and
Well, I
die.
remember the picture, but I just thought we had one before then.
No, we didn't have one. We canned.
So how'd you keep your food if you didn't have a refrigerator?
Mother canned everything. She canned the chitlins, big jars of sausage, pig feet, all that stuff went in a jar.
What about like milk and bacon, stuff like that?
Oh no, we had a cow. Yeah, I remember we had a cow. That milk was something that just milked every day.
Oh, y'all milked every day.
Yeah, Daddy milked that cow every day.
Meat was cured in those days. You cured the meat. So cured meat does not need refrigeration.
Okay.
No, I can remember my first refrigerator.
Yeah, so hams, and they call it bacon now because of the way they process it, but it was fat back when they slice it. It was the same thing basically. Because
most everything, all meat. You were right. All meats were basically, they were dried, cured like that.
Yeah.
So this moment, with your father being a minister, do you remember his favorite song and scripture?
Daddy's favorite song.
His favorite scripture
was from Galatians.
Yeah, the one I
if
heard.
If man soweth, that shall he also reap.
Yeah.
That was his favorite scripture. I was trying to think of his favorite song.
No,
I don't know that he had a favorite.
Yeah, he did, but he used to always sing
years ago, he liked leaning on the everlasting arm when we would come up as kids. But I noticed later on in the years, he learned to turn to the song Because He Lives.
Right, he did sing that. He did mention that. He sung that down in church at a playground program that Betty gave one time. He sung.
Oh, I'm talking.
You are?
You see me on your screen, don't you?
No, I don't see
mouth move. That mouth be quiet. When we were coming up as kids, he liked leaning on the everlasting arms. But as a minister, he had lots of songs, you could say favorites. Then toward the end, he liked Because He Lives. Okay, Jarvis, now you can talk.
What about
one thing I remember, Jenny, about it, a lot of times, like we had a lot of people used to come down there to the house. One of the house team's boyfriends used to come down from New Galilee with his guitar. But we had a lot of people that came to stay with Mother and them. And they
if
would
she
always
was alive, she'd get you, Jarvis. That was not her boyfriend. He was not her boyfriend. He was walking along.
Hey, well, what I said, he was. What can I say? But I always remember people when they came down there, and they stayed at the house. Mother would always get out of their bed and get a guest, their bed. But we had a lot of people. I remember as a young child, a lot of ministers and people would come by, and Mother was like cooking. They would always come because want nothing like that. That good eating. It was good eating, and then they sit around and they sang songs, and some of them had guitars and they played guitar. I remember all of those things on that front porch. It was always on the front porch.
Yeah.
You know what I remember, Jarvis, is that they loved sitting around that table, and we fanned the flies. We fan these people, keep them cool, and keep the flies off of them, just like they were, I don't know, royalty. And no wonder they loved it. We didn't care because that was our job, you know.
My
You
job.
didn't get no chicken no way till after they finished.
Did they leave any? Did they leave any chicken for y'all?
Yeah,
They left
mother always made sure her kids had food.
Yeah, she never fed other people.
She never fed them everything. She always made sure she cooked up plenty.
What was her favorite song?
For what she had.
What was one of Mother's favorite songs?
Mother's favorite song was Lift Him Up.
Okay.
She used to love that song. If I Be Lifted Up, or whatever the thing is. That's
one of her favorite foods.
One of her favorite songs. She do have more than one.
I don't think that was her favorite. I remember when she sung that, but there was another song Mother used to sing all the time. I remember it. I could think in my mind, but it goes back, and she used to sing it all the time. But you know,
that's one of her favorite songs.
That telephone to, I remember that telephone to glory. Little, so that had to be one. That's good. I remember. Yeah, I remember telephone to glory from her. Because you know what? Before we really had a television, we used to sing sometimes. She sing with us.
Y'all had choir? You had like a choir at home?
On Friday, the nice dad worked at the barber shop. I didn't realize until I got to be an adult too. And Dad was very active in the NAACP. And on Fridays and Saturdays, while he was at the barber shop, after we ran around in the yard till it was just about dark playing, we always sit on the front porch. We sit on and she would do different Bible verses with us, you know. This is what we learned. And then when she's still coming down the road, that meant get out of the way. And then it would be our bedtime, but she never went to bed on a Friday or Saturday night. And she told the night down the road. She occupied herself by singing songs with us, teaching us songs and the Bible verses. You know, every Friday, Saturday night, that's what she would do on that front porch until she saw the lights coming down the road. And then she knew him. I didn't realize that until I was that was her way of knowing that her husband was safe coming home again, because he was a very active member of the NAACP. Okay. And in those days, you had to be very careful, as you know, you can imagine. I can remember the only movie that we went to see uptown, and I wondered why Daddy sat down there in that car the whole time while we were in the movie. And as an adult, I think back now why he sat down there to make sure that he would be there for you know, because that time the downstairs and we sit upstairs. And so you didn't go, yeah, that's the only time I went to the movie. Mother and Dad did a good job. I mostly said Daddy, because he even protected his wife from the racism and stuff. He didn't allow Mother to do work in people's home. We worked at Miss Harris' house. But my mother didn't work around and cleaning houses and things.
Okay.
She didn't do that. And we didn't do it. And if she needed something uptown, Daddy went up there and got it. Because he knew that the racism was there. And I guess that was his way of protecting us. Right. Because that same drugstore that's up there now used to have a little place that you could sit down. But we couldn't sit down. They had a little fountain station. But we, as colored, we couldn't go in there. And just go in the stores to buy things. We couldn't buy. I mean, you just couldn't walk in the store.
Do you remember this, Miss Mormon? Do you remember being the segregation? Because you was the youngest. You remember?
I do. I can remember.
You know, Daddy
Yep,
went.
I can remember. I was
So he really kept us facing that type of thing, you know. So being all the little things, I never face it.
What were you gonna say,
well,
Miss Moore?
the schools weren't integrated until after 1967, and I graduated in 1967. So the
Wow.
schools weren't even integrated back then. Uh-huh.
So did you
So
have to
yeah,
wear a
we
lot of
lived with it.
hand-me-downs since you was the youngest child? Did you get everybody's hand-me-downs?
Not
No,
Yeah,
Ali. No,
no, I
no,
didn't.
no, 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 no.
I
Oh, you
was the one
didn't?
that got all the
There
hand me
were
down.
hand-me-downs.
Everybody,
Aunt
I,
Lily bought us clothes.
we wore them for
Yeah,
Oh,
we
everybody.
wore hand-me-downs, but not everybody.
okay.
By the time I came along, I didn't have to wear like girdles and stuff like that. But we did wear
I
hand-me-downs.
did. That should have been name had me down. That should have been my middle name, hand me down.
Yeah,
Nobody thought about. I never thought about where things came from.
so
To be honest,
today.
yeah, they
Yeah,
were
you
just.
just wore.
Well, one thing too, Jenny, what they had back then, what they call a rag house,
Mm-hmm.
because you had winter clothes and you had summer clothes, and you had play clothes and you had school clothes and church clothes. And you
Okay.
come home, you didn't play. That's the reason they could hand that stuff down from child to child, because when you came home, you took them clothes off.
You
Mm-hmm.
You
sure
put on
did.
your little kick around work clothes, and that's what you wore. And then them other clothes, you put them up, you hang them up, do what you do with them. You know, because like Mother was saying, when she came up, she had only one dress. So you had to wash that dress when you come home. And that's what we based that to do when it came along with different things. That's why you could hand it down, because you take the summer stuff and they put it in the rag house. And I
Uh-huh.
remember when Nat came home, like when he came home from service after a lot of years, and he would always talk about, you don't need that rag house. He went out there and called himself taking everything out the rag house and burning it, you know.
He told
But
mother he saw a snake. He did it.
Oh, wait a
It
minute.
was a.
He burnt the rag house?
He told her he saw a snake in it.
Yep.
She was still upset. They burnt
Yeah,
it.
but he did that to fool her into letting him take things out of it. You know, but
Wow.
he didn't really see us. But she didn't really need all that stuff. It's like me now. I got things packed away I'll never touch. So that was all it was. It was stuff she was never going to touch.
And he was big. Big man was home. He thought he was a big man right there.
Well, he was the
But he
oldest,
was,
right?
yes,
Was
he
he the
was.
was he the boss
Yes.
since he was the oldest? Did you guys
He
listen
thought
to
he
him?
was. He always thought he was, but no, he wasn't a ball.
It was okay with
he
me.
was the balls over them. He was the balls over them, because I remember when Mother was talking about when they lived in West Virginia. And the hardest two he had to handle was mainly with Halstein and Gertrude when they were little in West Virginia. They were the two hardest two. You know. And I always heard Mother tell the story about him and Lewis, because the house they lived in West Virginia, when it stormed and the water run down in the mountain, that water rose in the river. And Lewis was trying to, I think she said Nat was trying to throw Lewis into the river, you know, when they were little boys.
Really? So did he get a beating for that?
I'm
I
sure
imagine he probably did get something. One thing about it, he got a beating. Mother gave it to Uncle Daddy. I never remember him beating anybody.
Right.
He
his
never, he
dad
never.
never beat
Right.
you hard. Dad did more talking than you. The whole time he was trying to hook you, he was talking. And it was like ever.
Mm.
Never felt
Daddy
it.
didn't
You know.
Daddy didn't beat y'all.
It was
No, Mother
Daddy
did the beating.
tried,
You
but
sometimes
it
wish
didn't have
he
any
probably
effect.
wish he would had done the beating, but because when she got to you, you turn around there. I always remember one time I
Always.
had a friend, Blackmail, came down there, and Wilfred and Jules, they were little teenage boys, and you know we had the loft up there, and all of a sudden they had down the Blackwell. They all of a sudden they were up in the loft, and they gonna get her up there. And that night, Mother had never bothered. I think Arlene went to the house and told us something. And then that night, when they up there in that bed, and we had straw mattress. So when Daddy
Yeah.
would do that, when they thrashed the wheat, they made the straw mattress
Okay.
because some people peed in the bed. So they didn't buy no mattress.
Peed in the bed. Who peed in the bed? Who peed? Hold up. Who peed in the bed? What you say this for?
Frog legs for? She cooked frog legs for one of us.
Not me.
She cooked frog legs for when you could wet the fish.
So it was 10 kids. Who was the bedwetters?
Absolutely.
I just remember. I always remember. I remember straw growing.
She's not here to defend herself, so you know that's unfair.
I remember it growing in the boys' room. I don't remember ever having straw grow in the girls' room, but I remember the boys had straw growing in their area.
You know, it's funny. I don't even know what pie George and Aline slept.
I remember where I slept.
I don't remember them growing up with me at all. They just popped up and appeared.
And I can remember when we slept where I slept. Even when Nat was home, I remember where I slept.
So y'all had a boys' room and a girls' room?
Yeah, upstairs in the house they built. One the girls had when you come up the steps, the boys had the first room, and go through that where they had a little curtain there, and the girls was in the next room upstairs. They only had 2 rooms upstairs.
Okay.
But yeah, I remember, like I was telling that story now, but that beating part, when mother came up there that night, all she did, she came up there and pulled that sheet back, and you're already upstairs sweating. It was hot. And I guess I was probably about maybe 9, around that time, because Robin Joe was only about 12 or 13. And she pulled the cover back, and all you could feel was switch and holler. that's all you felt, So I remember that because I was getting the beating with them because I didn't do anything, but I was getting the beating because I was in the bed with them. I said that wasn't right.
Oh boy!
She at least could have sneaked me out the bed.
You said that to yourself though, right?
Yeah, I said that. I ain't saying it while I was hollering. I was just trying to get out to wear that switch.
Okay. Miss Mormon, did you get beatings?
Oh no.
Yes.
Wait, Miss Mormon. Miss Mormon.
I got 3 whippings. I can remember. I got 3 whippings. I got 1 because Wilford wouldn't let me go with him to pick plums, and I threw a brick and I hit him in the head. I got a beating for that. And then I remember we had been picking pears, and Pi said something to me, and he was standing in front of the window, and I threw a pear at his head, and I broke the window, and I got a whipping for that. I don't remember what the 3rd one was for, but I remember I got 3. I wasn't bad. I didn't do a lot of stuff. When Joyce and Pi and I came along, we had learned the older ones what not to do. So we didn't get into a lot of trouble.
So you can only remember 3 beatings in your life?
Uh-huh.
That's good. That's a good record.
Yep.
Yeah, that is. That's
and
real.
how old are you now?
I think so.
And you only got 3 beats. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty. That's a good record.
Yeah, that is a good record.
Well, like I said, Joyce and Pi and I didn't get into a lot of trouble because we watched Wilford and Jules and Dirty and House of Pain. And we just didn't get into a lot of trouble.
Because you watched the older kids get into trouble.
Yeah.
I don't know about her, but I got my shit.
You was out there being a boy, right?
I can't even count the beats.
For one thing, I think they had. Well,
I got.
Their camera's going behind a little bit. Uncle Jarvis, let me ask you.
Yeah.
Around with your pants sagging?
No, you ain't no, you ain't never had nothing like that.
You always had to wear a belt or a piece of rope?
Yeah, even when you're out there working, then you didn't wear your belt. You turn around and take a piece of twine, something, and tie your pants up in with your field work clothes sometimes, because you won't on dog that belt out, and you won't on dog no shoes out there in the field either, carrying that water like during tobacco time when you plant tobacco or out there pulling weeds or something like that. You won't gonna be wearing out your clothes out there like that.
So you had to work barefoot?
No, you wore shoes, but you had certain shoes that you had already had wore out.
Okay.
Some
Okay.
shoes, like some people have now, like they wear a shoe and a toe going through the shoe. You had a shoe or something like that.
Right. A work shoe.
Right, right. But other
Okay.
than that, no, you didn't. You didn't really have a lot when it come down to waste. It wasn't a lot of waste.
Right.
Well, we went barefoot sometimes, but you know what? There wasn't like broken glass and trash everywhere because none of them believed in keeping things kind of neat. So it wasn't like you couldn't step on something once in a while, but you didn't have to watch out for always stepping on something.
But one thing you didn't have to step on anything too, because like I say, you didn't have all that. No way as far as like and mother like around the yard, especially around the house, they had what they call a broom you made with bushes, and when you would sweep the yard with that.
Because there was no grass.
You didn't have no grass much,
So
most of the grass you put the cow out and to move the cow around to do the yard as far as what grass you did have.
Okay, because the cow gave y'all milk every day.
Oh,
was
yeah.
the milk cold? So when y'all had to do the cow every day, was the milk cold coming from the cow?
No,
I never liked milk myself.
I give it cold milk.
Yeah, I don't like milk either.
I don't either.
Mother made butter, homemade butter out of it.
I like buttermilk made. I used to do the churning. Mother used to always have me churn.
What does churn mean? What does churn mean?
Because I had other things to do.
What does churn mean?
It's a little thing they had made with
you agitate.
Yeah,
You
agitate. Yeah.
For the young viewers that don't know.
Well, it's a bucket. He had a bucket, and
it's
agitating hole, and you take that thing and just keep on going inside the milk like that until the milk turns into butter.
Well,
you can do it now by just shaking it.
It wasn't regular milk. It was the milk had curls. That's what
any milk that hasn't been pasteurized and heated and stuff. You could, if you got fresh milk now, you could shake it up until it's separated into butter. I mean, you could do that with a glass if you wanted to. A glass of milk, you shake it, but it's a lot of shaking. I tell you that. But we did it. We did a churn, a bucket with a.
Well, they could put it in one of the machines like somebody do, like you put paint in, like when you go to the store and they put paint and they shake that paint. They could put it in. That's how it's done today in the electric way when they make butter. That's how it's done. Yeah, but that's basically what you're thinking about. It's done by a machine, but then it was just done by hand.
Okay. So let me ask Ms. Mormon first. If you could go back and change anything about your childhood, would you?
Oh, no, I can't think of anything I would change.
I would change it
because we had a good childhood.
I try to be a better kid. Yeah, I try to be a better kid. I was kind of a rotten kid.
No, you wasn't.
Yeah, I was. I was a very sinful kid. I just kept it. Nobody knew but me, but I knew.
You was a kid, but you know.
So, Ms. Mormon, you say you wouldn't change anything? Ms. Mormon?
I can't think of anything I would change.
You might eat more beans and fish.
Because it was No, I'm never going to eat beans and fish. I'm never going to do that.
I'm going to tell you.
I wouldn't change that for sure.
I'm going to tell you a story. When Mother went away to work one time, she went to Washington because Nat and Lewis were getting ready to go off to college, and she was trying to make more money to help them to go to college. And Daddy was in charge, and Daddy always loved beans, and he fed us beans every day. Then we finally decided we were not going to eat any more beans, and somebody wrote up a petition, and everybody signed it except Mormon. She said, "I love beans." I think we just tried Daddy's favorite. But she said, I remember that. She said, "I love beans," and she wouldn't sign it. But everybody else signed it. I don't think it made any difference to him anyway.
No, Daddy didn't have no favorites. That's one thing. My father didn't have.
So did y'all still have to eat the beans after your petition?
Eat them or go to bed hungry, probably.
Okay.
That was his oldest daughter. Yeah.
So would you change anything, Uncle Jarvis, if you could change anything about your childhood?
Well, really looking back on it, I think I would. The only thing I would probably change would probably where I would try to do more educational wise to learn, because opportunity was there. Because when you think about the books and the stuff that was one thing that was handed down was books to you. But every year that it crop, that's when Dad would buy those books. for school. That's the only thing I could go back. But other than that, as far as like my childhood, no, really enjoyed life. I enjoyed living on the farm. When I left, mother actually made me leave home uh, when I was a
Didn't
little
ask
bit
for
older.
that.
Because I cried. I didn't want to leave home. I
Well,
loved
Say
it.
it.
I wasn't ready to leave completely. I was ready to leave, but to come back. But I left. But I enjoyed being in Kenbridge, but I did want to see someplace else, and I always figured I'd come back. But the one thing I didn't like was when in the late summers, Virginia to me was always depressing looking in late summer, especially if you got to go anywhere at all. Because as you came back down the road, all the vibrant green turned to dull green, and it just made it look so depressing, in late summer. I never liked that part of Virginia.
Do you
But
still feel
other
that
than
way?
that,
You still feel that
that is
way?
depressing.
Uh-huh.
I still think, yeah, I still think that in late summer, the everything starts looking depressed, and
Okay.
Well,
then
I tell you one
people
thing I enjoyed
are
about the fall of the year.
I never.
Go
I'll
ahead,
tell you
Troy.
something I didn't like about Virginia, not you, Pat, but they always had lean and hungry looking men, and I never wanted one of those. Um, so and I didn't get one.
Lean and hungry looking. Well, you ain't got no lean and hungry looking one. Rest assured.
No, I don't.
that's nothing. I agree with Pat about childhood. There's nothing about my childhood that I would change, except I would try harder educational wise to learn more. I would try to attain more than I did as a child because I know how important it is now. And then I would have listened to my father once I graduated from high school. He tried to get me to at least take a trade, but and I didn't. I was in a hurry to marry Annette. And he said, "Don't marry that boy." He said, "You don't have to go to college, but take yourself a trade." And I didn't listen. And I'm the only person that paid for not listening. Daddy didn't pay,
Oh,
and nobody else had paid the price but me for not listening to him and taking up a trade. So I would further my education. I would have started with the elementary and on up. I would have, because I'm quite capable of learning, but I guess I was intimidated as a child
You chew on when you
because
cut
I
your teeth.
came along when color mattered. The
Wait a minute.
light skinned
And then you
children
go.
got the
You
opportunities.
do it on your teeth. You
They
don't do
were
that.
pushed in the class.
Put
You
it
You
in
talking
didn't.
about
when
you
you
talking
get
about light
teeth.
skin in your class?
Yes,
Oh.
if you were high yellow
That's just a fact.
or your parents what they call the casting your own, then you didn't have to work as hard to be on the honor roll and
I
stuff.
never noticed that.
I did. When I was in sixth grade, Reverend Watkins said George Douglas at his desk because she looked so much like him. His wife was ugly as hell.
Oh, don't
Well,
say that.
she was ugly.
Get
And so was George. But
you like
I mean, can you imagine another child who did something like this? It does you mentally as far as your learning is concerned. Then there was Marie Jones.
Don't name names
And all this is true.
because people looked at these. You don't want to
I
hurt.
don't care.
You don't want to hurt people's feelings
Well, I
unnecessarily.
don't care about that. And she was what they call prominent. Her parents are prominent in the neighborhood, so she didn't have to work to be an honor roll student.
Who was
And
this you talking about?
these are the children because they were light. Their parents were considered prominent in the neighborhood, and the Dens wasn't prominent, but they were neighbors of his. And he held, and this was all through school. These kids were held up as smart when they wasn't. They were no smarter than me. But I felt it as a child. You understand what I'm saying? You feel it as a child, and it affects your mental ability to learn. Now, mother used to do her best to make us learn. Boy, she be combing them hairs and pop you with that comb, trying to get you to say words and things that you had missed that night. before you went to bed. She
Mm-hmm.
would underline the words in the book, and the next day she get you up early to go over your lecture. But when you come upon a teacher who's a wrong person, they can intimidate you so that you don't do what your mother probably has instilled in you to do. And this is year after year. So there's nothing about my childhood that I would change except I would feel so intimidated going to school.
So we're gonna have to wrap our interview up, but let me ask each one of you before we go. What advice would you give to our young viewers watching now? Ms. Mormon, what would you tell a young person watching now? Just get ready to start. They're in high school or not even in high school, but just something about moving forward in their life.
Hmm. I would tell them to listen to their parents, to study and do their best, um, to live a moral life. I guess that's about it. Do your best, have some morals about you,
Okay.
listen to your parents, and just be yourself, and you'll make it.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Joyce, what would you tell a young person listening as we wrap it up?
Actually, I just tell them to be themselves and to try to live every day as happy as they can. Be kind to other people and not to worry about things that happen because tomorrow, many of the things that happen one day will not even matter the next day. The most important thing is relationships and to be kind to themselves first.
That sounds good. I like both of those. And on Gertrude, wrapping it up, what would you give a young person advice?
Well, I would tell them the first thing they need to do is no matter what others are doing, they need to include God while they're young in their life because He is the only person that can protect them from anything that come in this world. Your parents can protect you to a certain extent, but God can really put a shield around you that no one can break. And so I would tell them to incorporate God in their life while they are young and let
Okay.
Him make sure He is ahead. Make sure that whatever they say and do, that they consult Him first.
Okay. That's great
And
advice.
and everything else will fall into place. Don't wait till
Yeah.
you old to serve God.
Yeah, give them some while you're young. And we're gonna get Uncle Jarvis to wrap his up. And the next time we come back, hopefully we can have Aunt Glennis and Pop on here. And who else was missing?
That's it.
That's
Okay.
it.
Okay, Uncle Jarvis. Uncle Jarvis, I'm gonna let you wrap it up. Just give a word of advice right quick to our young viewers watching. Just give them some advice for life.
Well, I think as a whole, I think what I always recommend to all young people is to strive to do your best in life, but don't strive to a point that you feel that you have to impress somebody to do what you're doing. But the most important thing is take advantage of education and go forward and always put God first in your life. Because like you say, you can go, but go with God in your life as well, you know, to continue to move forward. That's the main thing. I think that most young people think that sometimes to be successful, they go for the worldly things and forget the fact that they need Christ in their life. And I think that's something we should always emphasize because that's something that was we as black people have always had. We've always had spiritual values in our lives to lead us and to guide us in the areas of our lives that when we come to certain points in life, you have to make decisions. And you want those decisions to be based on something for the fact that you know it has a real foundation, and that's the word of God.
Thank you, Uncle Jarvis. Thank you, Aunt Gertrude. Miss Mormon. And Miss Mormon, I say Miss Mormon because at Metro, that's how we always carried it. But Aunt Eileen, Aunt Joyce, and back to DJ Straight. It has been
That's
my
all right.
pleasure as your sweet.
Thank
Thank
you, thank
you so
you,
much.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, St. Jenny.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You made a wonderful host.
I had wonderful guests. Thank you. Back to
Well,
you,
let's see. If
DJ
I
Straight.
count your guests, 1, 2, 3. You had 3 good guests. I don't know about that fourth one.
Yeah, I see 1, 2, 3.
You know, that's the one where Mama said it had 4. She had 6 boys and 4 girls.
Yeah.
Boy.
Oh,
Hello. I don't mind being that.
naughty.
I ain't gonna tell you.
I couldn't let her get away because she might have tried to come back on me. So I had to get her quick.
My lips are sealed.
Most certainly.
DJ Straight.
All right.
Yeah, my mic was muted. So listen, one of the comments on Facebook said, I didn't know you could eat hog's brains. Well, and the other one said, one of my babysitters used to can vegetables. They had a garden. But this has certainly been good. And I'm going to be honest, I laughed. I was back here laughing, but I was also learning. And one thing I noticed is that the genuineness that you all have amongst siblings, because you guys are all over the 70 score, the reasonable service, and you all still have that great camaraderie, because there are some siblings that they don't speak for years and years and years, and something happened and they want to climb over there in the casket because they just didn't treat each other right or something happened. But I have enjoyed you all. The hostess with the mostest, Jenny Booker, you did very good.
Yes.
So I'm going to do 2 things. I'm going to bring you all back on when all 6 of you all can come, because again, as I stated, you know, one of your siblings, she was commenting though, and then the other one didn't get off of work. But I'm going to open this up, Mr. Jarvis. I want to bring you back by yourself, because you didn't get to get loose, because you could talk about singing and guitar and playing, and you know a whole lot of stuff about the trucking. And so I want you to come back on your own first, and then I want to interview each one of you all separately, and then we're going to do the siblings. So this year, you guys are going to be back on DJ Straight and Praise from the Closet at least 2 more times, one time separately, because what I heard was, with everything that you all did not have, you were grateful, and that there is nothing about your childhood that you would change. And here, everything that we have is push button, push button, push button, and we take so many things for granted. And you all had so little, but you had so much. And I think this is great for people to hear. And I encourage siblings to come on of all ages, because again, I can't count up as high with all and you all together. But I think it was so wonderful that you all could express. And even though you all are in the country and you had difficult getting the internet and stuff like that, you all still persevered. So whereas I knew it was going to be funny, but I still learned so much, because you all are living history, you know. Now I'm being on my serious side. You guys are living history, and that was very commendable. And the people were following us, and I'm sure many people are going to go back and watch this over again. So again, thank you, Jenny, for hosting. And Mr. Jarvis, you need to text me. Let me know when you're available, because I want to give you the Jarvis hour so you can just let loose. Because I know you said a little acquainted.
You gotta get that dance in there. You gotta get that beat.
Yep, and your song, and everybody else. I know, Ms. Mormon, you are recuperating and you're looking well. Thank you very much. And Ms. Gertrude, you are recuperating as well. And Joyce, you just keep it. You know all the history. You got it all going on. So I want to bring you all back as all your siblings, and then individually, because I want people to hear the stories that you all have. And I can say that these are true stories. Nothing is made up. This is who they are. And I appreciate that, because who they are is a part of who I am. So
I was gonna say, me and you, we'll chip off the old block right here.
You speak for you.
You can try to see if Daddy on there.
He don't get off till 7. He gets off at 7, because I did call him. He gets off at 7 o'clock. So again, I'm going to do it again when all of you all can get together. It might be in the springtime, it may be in the summer, but I want all you all to come on, because again, and I'm speaking to the other Smiths. Hopefully, you all have encouraged them to come on. families that have people that are moving on up in age, it is great for the younger generation. When I say younger, anybody that might be 70 and under, to see that you all can still persevere through all that you have come through. And by the world standards, you all are success stories, because many people did not make it to this far. So again, I'm inviting you all tomorrow to tune in at 6 o'clock for 1 hour aloud with Robert Howard reading, and then on Tuesday.
I'll try my best.
Okay, and then on Tuesday, Arista Mormon will be coming on, and her file will be coming out, because right now my mind has escaped me what time we agreed upon. But this has been great. And anybody have any parting words before we cut out?
Thanks very much.
I just want to say one thing about the reason we are the way that we are is because mother and daddy always had each other, because they were two. I think we mentioned this before, because the way they were brought up, as far as like they were both outcasts in their families. They were both like children from, mother was a child that her mother had when she got married to Horace Bagley, and daddy was a child that was by our grandfather from the girl that Murray Booker had. So that made them bind together because of the fact, and they taught us always be there for family.
That's great. That's great advice. You said a mouthful.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to take you guys, I want to take you all out. And again, go back. You can watch this broadcast again on YouTube on channel DJ Straight, and visit our website, WGMLB.com. Listen live, where you will hear great inspirational music. And I'm advertising this because Vicky Wine is Safe in His Arms just played, and then before that, Renee Winston, Only God Can Do It. You hear such a variety. So if you have a moment, you're down and out, or just want to move around, tune us in, because we are on the move of whatever God says. We're going to open every door He's going to open. So anyway, thanks again, Jenny, for navigating this, and for you all persevering through the trees and the hogs and the mountain lions to get on. Oh, and it's a good thing y'all didn't have to go like Green Acres and stand on a pole and down in.
No, we don't have to do that.
I remember the outhouse and pumping that water. Oh, that's a whole different story. So that's why I want you all to come back on and fully. And to Aunt Glennis, way on the other side of the world, okay, of the country, she persevered. She did come on, but she just came home yesterday, and she was trying to get on. So everybody wave and tell her hi, because she's watching.
Well, Miss Down.
Yeah, man.
Okay. So I will see you all. Stay on right quick. I'm gonna take us out, and then you guys, I say guys, and somebody said corrected me, but they know what I mean. People know me. I'm like the Bookers. I don't have any heirs.
I hear you.
Right. I can't be Boucher. All right. Again, this is DJ Straight signing off from Praise from the Closet.